For me, it was LSD was my first experience. Through getting into more psychedelic music early on in the dorms, and then having a lot of experiences with a lot of cannabis and music, that realm kind of sucked me in. But then LSD, I was kind of like, I was just fell in love with it right off the bat.
The first time I really understood psychedelics, I think I was pretty young. I mean, in high school at some point, and you party and stuff. And when I realized it was different than that and could be used differently, I was still in high school. I was like late, or like maybe just going into college. Like I'd kind of not been serious about it because maybe it just didn't hit me the right way. You used to be able to order research chemicals on the internet and they'll send them to your house, like kids, you know what I mean? Like, and for better or for worse, alpha-methyltryptamine would just show up at your doorstep, or 5-MeO-DMT. Like, so this is early days of internet, obviously.
Arrowhead.
Yeah, Arrowhead Vaults and like racresearch.com sent me a shitload of 5-MeO-DMT. And like, we didn't know what we were doing, but it became pretty apparent pretty quickly to all of us, like, yo, this is more than just partying, and like, somehow we were pretty responsible with it. And I don't know if depending on what your definition of responsible is, my mom probably say something different, but I'd done all the research chemicals before I tried mushrooms though. So I think it might have been like mushrooms and LSD that were like, it's just a different experience. And 5-MeO is 5-MeO, and it's very powerful, but a mushroom trip is different, and it can affect a lot of people differently. So that kind of tied it all together for me, that it wasn't just alpha-methyltryptamine and DIPT and 2CB and all those things, which are, I'm sure they have their place as well, but there was the mushrooms finally that were like, okay. I think my group of friends kind of figured it out pretty quickly, and those who didn't ended up maybe not liking psychedelics, or it challenged them too much, but it really shaped who I am. Regardless of what I do professionally, my outlook towards psychedelics in the early years really has only changed insofar that I realize the power that it has to help and change people in ways that they're not aware of. That's why I'm here doing this, and that's, in high school research chemicals, and since then, obviously, there's been a lot of other things, but it was very apparent to me from the start that it could be used as a tool, and I'm lucky that I was around people who were, big thinkers and not just partying and not just, did a lot of psychedelics pretty early, and it shaped who I am for sure.
My older brother really just influenced me early on with really psychedelic music from an early age, and I feel like, in elementary school, I was, rocking out to Radiohead, Aphex Twin, Pink Floyd, and really psychedelic music and the Beatles and all these things, and just falling in love with psychedelic music in general. It just hooked me, and I probably only smoked weed 50 times in high school. I wasn't even a giant pothead. I was just more focused on my bands and skateboarding, and I didn't try any psychedelics until freshman year in college. For me, it was LSD was my first experience. Through getting into more psychedelic music early on in the dorms, and then having a lot of experiences with a lot of cannabis and music, that realm kind of sucked me in. But then LSD, I was kind of I was just fell in love with it right off the bat, and I had some just unbelievable trips that are out of a fairy tale. storybook that shaped me a lot in those early experiences. But I was kind of like, it was like every other weekend. Like every weekend we're gonna do LSD and go out in nature and be with a smaller, it was like a community building thing. It was like being with my close friends and going on having this journey, you know, hitting tons of volcano bags and, you know, doing some L and listening to a lot of music and then playing a lot of music and having early experiences with Papadosio under the influence together and playing. Like I was just like, I was such a young boy. Like I still am a young boy, but I had experiences even with the guys where I was like, speed up, speed up, speed up, and then half times. Like I was just like so excited about the realm and just kind of being kind of like, you know, like some, I wouldn't say sheltered, but like more naive and just like open to all of the possibilities that the psychedelics could teach me. And I went in really hard for a while, more so than probably the rest of the guys. And so at that point, you know, some of them had a lot more experiences before me. I just went in super hard. And then, yeah, I learned a lot of lessons from LSD first, and then mushrooms came second, and DMT and ayahuasca and San Pedro and, you know, 5-MeO, like so many amazing experiences. I tried some research chemicals early in college, had some great times. And then the festival scene culture, like of going to festivals with my close friends. I went to a lot of festivals without the band and then brought them to some festivals too. But I really just fell in love with the culture of just feeling in community and the whole oneness with people, regardless if they're tripping or not, but just like the vibe of the magic of the festival, the magic of being in community, and the magic of learning these lessons. I was kind of more in the party phase a little bit with it early on in my life. Like I had so many amazing experiences and trips, but it was like, there's a lot of personal work that I needed to work on. So I took some breaks and then got back to it here and there over the years, and had, you know, trying to work on like, you know, personal and family trauma stuff really came up for me a lot, and a lot of family stuff over the years that they always come up on psychedelics. So let's talk about my family. And that became more serious as I got older, and it felt like I needed a lot of work to work on. And I know we all went down to Peru back in 2011 and did a couple weeks doing ayahuasca in San Pedro in the Amazon, and that was like a pivotal time in a lot of our lives, but especially mine individually, kind of processing a lot of stuff. And then psychedelics after that have become more of like a tool, and I kind of like microdose a lot more now. I do a lot more psilocybin microdosing, and I love to tap into some MDMA here and there, and an occasional LSD experience is wonderful. But I'm not really at a place in my life right now where I'm trying to like go full on and have like a crazy magical experience. I'm more in a place of like using lower doses and being in community with a lot of close friends in these experiences, and just like building the love in my community and the love in my band and the love with my friends, and just like just trying to outpour that even more. And I'm always down for like a macrodose here and there. It's just I was really in the need for that expansion when I was younger, and now I'm more in, you know, more in like kind of a therapy mindset of like, how can this ketamine session, or how can this MDMA session, or the psilocybin session with my friends, like how can we grow and just build on this together or in our community. And it's been really nourishing and really great, and I've been really enjoying doing a lot more psychedelics the past few years and tapping back more into it with more of an intention behind it, and not just like, let's get super spun and go to a festival and party down super hard and drink a million beers and stay up all night. It's more like I've been enjoying more of a community building aspects of it lately, and it's been really awesome. I got 2 kids and a wife, and just like want everything to keep getting better in my life, and trying to use it as tools to help me get better. And I do really enjoy microdosing on stage, because I feel like, you know, just a little bit gets the jitters off for me, and I kind of like lock into my playing a little bit better. I've just been, really trying to grow on it a lot more these days, and it's been really great, and I love it.
You can react to anything going on in the world, whether you're on psychedelics or not, in a way that you choose. Like, you have a choice. Thoughts are thoughts, but they can become more powerful, and you can use them to react to the world around you like it's politics, like it's a fight with somebody, or it's, you have the power in your brain to choose how you can react to that. And psychedelics kind of hammered it home for me that like, oh wait, I'm a bug on a rock flying around this giant G-type star at 27,000 kilometers per second. Like, zooms you out and like reminds me that like, I don't have to like worry about X, Y, or Z unless it's somebody like at my door gonna punch me in the face or something. Like, you can take a step back and choose how you walk through life. If I can navigate myself through an ayahuasca journey, like, I'm pretty sure I can take care of this, like, a tough conversation I need to have with a friend. That then also informs me of like, this person is that as well. Like, this person has the choice as well. Maybe might know it or might not know it, but like, you are the same as this person, and we're all a moss growing on a rock in the void. And like, choose how you want to talk to people and react to things. That kind of helped me. The psychedelics blowing my ego out kind of helped me do that.
I've been talking a lot about this year because it's been a really great change in my life, but like, I avoided going to personal mental health kind of therapy until this year, and psychedelics were kind of always like a therapy place for me the last 20 years in a way. And now that I'm doing both, like, now I'm like, when I use psychedelics, and even after like I go to like a therapy session, and then I'll go to a festival and maybe do some microdosing, I'm like, it's like a constant conversation that I'm having with people, like processing, but like encouraging therapy and encouraging love and encouraging like connection and community. And it's just like, I just like keep wanting to talk more and more and more about it. And it's like, it's this natural process that, I'm going through for myself. Like, everyone has a different journey, but for me, it's like, it's been super healing for me this year. And it's just been really wonderful. Like, a couple months ago, I went to this incredible San Pedro ceremony with people from 20-year-olds to 80-year-olds. There was like 35 of us, and it was like just this processing trauma and therapy together. It's just been so healing and grounding for me, and like, it's like this weird chain reaction where I just like want to keep talking about it and encouraging people to find therapy in whatever realm it is. And it's all different for everyone, but this is really good for me, psychedelics, and going to a therapist and working with it all, and all of this stuff has just been really wonderful. Like, Billy was telling me for years, you gotta go start getting some therapy, and I pushed it off forever, and I finally started going this year, and it's been like the best thing for me in my life in like a long time. And
it's powerful.
It's so powerful. And when I used to hide in being stoned all the time, or like, or just trying to have fun on psychedelics or at the party or whatever, and all those were great, but now it's like more of an integration for me, where I'm like trying to work with it and move forward in a lot of things. It's been a beautiful year for me, and I'm excited to keep growing and keep on tapping in on my little microdoses here and there.
Everybody is weirded out by stuff too. Like, everyone's scared of stuff. Like, if you don't admit it, that's fine. But like, it's like, I know that you are, because I am. This is how your brain works. We all have the same brain. Like, that's what it is. They all work differently. And it's the wildest thing ever that there's a meat computer in my head that like is for like facilitating us doing this, what we're in this room right now. Like, And you can tap into different parts of that. And if you don't know that, like, I feel like everybody knows that, but you have to, like, you don't have to know it. You know, it helps to have psychedelics to show you that. And once you've had those experiences, it's easier to then tap into the fact that, like, I can say that, like, I know you're scared of stuff, man. Like, I'm scared of stuff too. Like, it's okay. And it's just kind of makes you a little more vulnerable. And I feel like everybody could probably use that in the world today. And just that we're all just, like, rolling around on a rock, man. Like, it's
Trying to figure it out.
I never thought about that before. Like,
Yeah.
It just kind of helps. It helps to formulate, has helped to formulate my opinion on what we're doing here. I still don't know, but, like, that's cool that I don't know. I'm fine with that, you know what I mean?
We're at a really pivotal time in history now that we're seeing legalization of psychedelic mushrooms in some states. And now there's ketamine therapy billboards in every city now. Like, see them all over the country. Obviously, festival culture growing to an all-time high around the world everywhere. And the use of MDMA and LSD and mushrooms and ketamine and psychedelics in general are just becoming more of a mainstream kind of thing. Like, something I'm noticing too with, like, younger generations at events is there's less alcohol use and more psychedelic use. And I'm seeing a trend a lot with that from the 20 to 30-year-olds. And it's a new vibe that I'm noticing a lot more. And it's encouraging, it's exciting, it's less, it feels like people are ready for more positive change and growth instead of just, like, numbing our brains and not thinking about our problems anymore. I feel I'm in some of the communities I'm seeing and witnessing, I'm seeing that higher vibration vibe happening on, like, a different level than I did 10 years ago. I'm seeing more community connection with it all. And I just foresee that being a big part of this world. And I think the biggest thing that the world needs is for us all to live more in community and live more locally and be together more and not so separate from each other. And I feel like that is the answer to a lot of our world problems, is focusing more on our communities, living with each other in a more loving way. I'm hoping that we see that continually growing with psychedelic use and with paying attention to taking care of each other and taking care of the earth and living more locally, and caring about our neighbors more instead of just hiding behind our phones.
I think the future of psychedelics in the age of, like, instant access to any information that you would like to know will help and is helping. That is why I think we're seeing more acceptance of it. People will know that this is helpful. You know, it's not just a party drug. Like, people who are older than me have watched it go from, like, absolutely not to, okay, let's talk about this, and see, you couldn't even talk about it. So I think it's kind of unavoidable that we are all going to be and are ultimately androids. We're kind of cyborgs already. If your phone is in your pocket, like, that's kind of the definition. And, like, I'm not saying that's bad, but I think it is important, if we're gonna accept that as a fact, that we can still tap in to our brains and what is there and what comes from the earth and what humans have made to help explore your brain. And so it could be a nice balancing act, you know, for there is the digital side, and it's always going to be there. We're never going to just not have the internet. It's out of the box. So it would be nice if psychedelics kind of helped humanity to remember that your brain is there, and use it. And using your brain is not just doing math. Using your brain is exploring parts of it that you might feel uncomfortable, and getting out of your protective internet shield, you know, which is still, again, that'll always be there. I would hope that psychedelics can help us to use the access to information and use the instant communication in a more responsible way. Taking yourself on journeys, and maybe when you're using that tool, the technology, you'll remind yourself, like, maybe I shouldn't spread this misinformation. You know, I'm not saying it's a fix-all, but it's like a slow reminder of there are people on the other side of that screen, and just like you. So the more people can be reminded of that, the better, and you know, it's helped me, because getting your ego blasted off and you're just an animal reminds you that that person that you're talking to isn't just words on a screen, unless of course it is a bot, but like, you know, like, you can tell. But either way, that, you know, to just be kind, and I think psychedelics are an important tool and good reminder of you are human, you are an animal, you are on the earth. It's not always all digital, so.
And psychedelics also help create the internet too, so maybe we can just always have that reminder of, you know, syncing up with this digital world and this real world, and fusing it all together in positive ways, and trying to, like, not just abuse and use up all of our technology that we have, because obviously it's only going to keep getting better and better and better. It's just being able to merge it in like a sustainable, responsible, healthy way. It's going to be wild. I'm excited for the future, especially with like the movement of psychedelics in music culture as well is exploding at an all-time high again, like it was back in the 60s and 70s. Like, we're seeing that worldwide consciousness and expansion for people everywhere around the world, just embracing being together in community and loving the vibes of celebration. So we're seeing that grow even more than ever before as well. Yeah, like Billy said, there's no stopping it. It's only going to keep growing, and more people are going to learn about it, and they're going to have their first experiences, and they're going to be weird, and they're going to get older, and they're going to be wanting some more serious experiences and some more true healing, and yeah, having...
Just possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible is here, and there's professionals here to support that and to guide you on your journey.
Right.
My specific trip was so powerful that, like, I'll never forget it. I can remember every step of the way, and it was beautiful. Like, when I had a bad asthmatic my whole life, and maybe that was why I was trying to get some healing.
That's a very powerful thing, and therapy combined with the power of psychedelics is something that has, I mean, it could change everything for sure.
Thank you for watching, and please remember to like this video and to subscribe to our channel.
Hey, what's up? It's Billy and Mike from Papadosio. And if you need any more information on psychedelics, psychedelic-assisted therapy, or to make a donation to the Pearl,
please visit pearlpsychedelicinstitute.org.
We are on all socials at Papadosio, Papadosio, papadosio.com. You'll find all the tour dates and merch. There's a Facebook, Papadosio Family on Facebook. It's a good place to go to get a vibe of what our fan base and community is like. We have some of the most loving fans in any music scene in the whole world.
All walks of life are welcome, and definitely a wonderful place to meet new people on the family page too.
You want to hear us play a song? Request it. Maybe we'll get your track you want to, Dosio track you want to hear in there, because that's kind of, we pay attention.
We do that a lot.
Yeah, we pay attention to what people are
for requests.
Yeah, it's fun. It makes it more fun.